Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is Shanmugaraj. Currently, we're discussing about what are the new things that arrived in SAFe 6.0. As part of that, today's topic is how to apply 8 flow accelerators in the team flow. In my previous video, we understood that the context of team flow is achieving a state for the team that continuously flow value to the customers, right? It's about applying flow accelerators for the flow properties and try to achieve continuous value flow to the customers. In this video, we will discuss how do we apply flow accelerators to the team flow. The first one is visualize and limit WAP. Why does it matter? Excessive work in progress decreases team productivity and impedes the flow of the value to the customer, as you see in this picture, right? More the work in progress item, you will see that item completion time is getting elongated. Having excessive WAP also confuses the individual and team priorities, causes frequent context switching, and increases waste, overhead, and frustrations, right? Like a highway at rush hour, there is simply no upside to having more work in the system than the system can handle it. How to go about it? What we can do about it? The first thing you can do about is, as a value stream manager or as a leader of value stream or as a leader of art or agile teams, you can make the current WAP visible. The first step is to make all the different types of work visible, including new functionality, maintenance, architecture, infrastructure, technical debt reduction, right? All those different types of work, make it very visible. Often, this simple visualization is a much needed wake up call that causes practitioners to start addressing the systemic problems of too much work and too little flow. The second thing you can do about it is balance WIP against available capacity, right? The next step is to set WIP limit that balance the demand against the available development capacity. No new work is started when any workflow state reaches its WIP limit, helping match demand and capacity and increasing the flow. Second flow accelerator is address the bottlenecks. Why does it matter for a team flow? A team's productivity is constrained by various bottlenecks where skill, capacity, resources, and other elements of the process or system cannot meet the demand, right? Improving the team flow requires addressing bottlenecks continuously. What to do about it? How can I solve bottlenecks in a team flow? The first important task is to identify the bottlenecks, right? That's the first thing. What are the bottlenecks, in your team flow? Common examples include an insufficient number of people with a given expertise, over specialization, excessive technical debt, lack of availability of shared service, lack of customer feedback, right? Many bottlenecks occur when work passes from one workflow step to another. A large amount of work piling in front of a state in team Kanban may indicate a bottlenecks. So that's what in the picture, no, this picture talks about it. However, when bottlenecks are caused by a capacity or skill shortage, identifying them is not always obvious and may require root cause analysis. Once discovered, there are generally two ways to deal with team bottleneck. The, the first option is increase the capacity at the bottleneck. In many cases, adding people is an appropriate response. But there are other ways as well. Safe's built-in quality and other agile practices provide many helpful techniques for increasing capacity at the bottleneck. Some of the options like collective ownership from extreme programming. right? Collective ownership implies that anyone of the team can fix a defect, update our product, or resolve the problem. However, to help ensure that there are no unintended consequences, such changes are subject to the necessary competence and local governance of the work product. The second option is developing T-shaped skills. So agile teams develop people with the T-shaped skills. This metaphor describes people with deep skills in one specialty area or and broad but not necessary deep skills in other areas. T skills increase the range of issues and opportunities a team member can address. Third option is pairing. Pair work doubles the capacity. Pair work doubles the capacity to address the issue and provides the better insights into a specific problem that may be blocking the progress. So it also helps in developing T skills, right? The final option is a swarming. With the swarming, multiple team members collaborate to accomplish work that a team member may have difficulty competing on their own. The second option to address the skill shortage is the bypass the bottleneck. Right? Bottlenecks are not always easy to resolve immediately at the source. Right? Fortunately, teams likely to have other valuable stories in their backlog that other non-constrained people can work on, right? Selectively replanning can increase the flow while the bottleneck is being addressed. So it is also important to note that some root causes of team bottlenecks may be beyond the team's span of control. So in this case, inspect and adopt event, right? Retrospective events is an excellent opportunity to elevate the problem. How to apply? Third accelerator, which is minimize hands-offs and dependencies in the team flow. Why does it matter? Handoffs occur when work transition from one process step to the next. Dependencies occur when specific input is needed from another person or a team. While some dependencies and handoffs are inevitable, excessive and unnecessary dependencies and handoffs disrupt the team flow, create delays, and increase the context switching and overhead. What to do about it? How do we solve this? Safe principle number 10, organize around value, provides the primary constructs for minimizing handoffs and dependencies. Effective team topologies help by reducing the cognitive load placed on the team. The second option is make handoffs and dependencies visible, right? So teams must understand what they are, the pattern in which they occur, and the impact they create. The third one is take corrective action. Corrective action may be evident from the context of the dependencies. Some action often requires changes to the process, design of the system under construction, the individual work product, or the organization or skills of the teams themselves. So these are the three things we can try to apply for minimizing handoffs and dependencies. Fourth accelerator of flow is get faster feedback. How do we go about getting faster feedback in the context of the team flow? Let us try to understand why does it matter for us in a team flow. Solution development is critically dependent on feedback needed to guide the team's work. When the feedback is missing or delayed, misunderstandings accumulate very quickly, leading to rework, slow delivery, and dissatisfied customers. Generally, two types of feedback are required. One is building the right thing, and the second thing is building it right. Right? That's represented in the picture of PDA cycle. What to do about it? How do we apply in the team flow? Determining what types of feedbacks are missing or inadequate. Different forms of feedback provide distinct answers to the various questions. Are the priorities are right? Will the architecture support the functionality? Will the customer be able to use the product? So these are the some of the questions you can ask to determine the what type of feedback are missing or inadequate. Shift reviews left. All the work products should be peer reviewed as early in the cycle as possible. However, there can be natural tendency for individuals to want to get their work to a state of completion before showing to others. But this can create over investment in unproven designs and defensive posture by the author. Right? Apply transparency, shift reviews to all WIP left. So when we mean by shift reviews left, have reviews as early as possible during your work in progress. Demonstrate the working system. SAFe has events for getting faster feedback. The most basic example is the system demo, right? In a team level, it's a sprint demo or iteration demos that occurs every 2 weeks. It creates the discipline for validating core assumptions. The fourth option is frequently integrate and engage with the customer. Frequent integration provides critical feedback concerning the current implementation approach. Also, providing customer access to the current product increment in the staging environment can provide early important feedback. Fifth, flow accelerator, which is work in smaller batches. How do we go about or how do we apply it in team flow? Why does it matter for a team flow? Working in large batches of stories, tasks, and other activities leads to delayed feedback, significant rework, and high variability. Teams have many different types of batches in their flow system. Some of the examples could be integration batch, testing batch, architectural batch, customer feedback, deployment batch, right? So what to do about it? How do I make sure that I am working in smaller batches in the team flow? Some of the techniques include use the recommended cadence and team size. SAFe structural guidelines helps keep batch sizes small. Adhering to the short PI and iteration lengths makes batch size smaller. So generally we recommend in a scrum process or iteration keeping to have a 2 weeks of iteration rather than having team has that opportunity to have 3 weeks or 4 weeks also. But generally what we recommend is the 2 weeks of just to have your batch size smaller. In addition, the optimum size of arts and teams automatically imposes a limitation on how much work can be processed at a time. Actually. Adjust the process to support smaller batches. In a specific batch remains too large, reducing it may require adjustments to planning and execution. It may also require context-specific changes to reduce the effort in processing the batch. The third option is ensure proper enablement. Reducing batch size often creates a high number of smaller transactions. Optimizing and reducing the batch size usually entails planning and execution enables to refactor architecture and infrastructure. Reduce queue lengths. Why does it matter for a team flow? Queues occur when there is a committed backlog awaiting implementation. The longer the queue, the longer the wait time for the new functionality, right? What to do about it? Teams generally have some direct control over length of each queue. They can make queues shorter with various mechanisms. What are those mechanisms? Flow measures like velocity, load, help the team commit to only their available capacity. Pay objectives help team limit commitments beyond the scope, ensuring that queue of the new work is not much longer than a PI. Short duration time boxes and concise iteration objectives also bring focus to the near term work. Informal or formal requests for additional work should be directed into a backlog to keep queues shorter. Right? These are some of the mechanisms we can apply to reduce the queue lengths in the team flow. The seventh flow accelerator is optimize time in the zone. Why does that matter for team flow? Solution development relies heavily on creativity, focus, and the intellectual effort of team members. For example, implementing a new software feature requires a developer to navigate hundreds of intricate dependencies between different parts of the code in a way that it is uniquely related to the component under development. The zone is a highly productive mental state that takes time to enter and sustain. So it may take up to 15 to 20 minutes for a person to fully immerse themselves in the context of their work, and a simple external factor may instantly interrupt it. So, what to do about it? Several factors make it difficult for individuals and teams to reach and sustain an optimal time in the zone. These include excessive WAP, excessive meetings, frequent context switching, interruptions, inadequate development tools, and CD pipeline infrastructure. Ensuring these factors are resolved is an essential task for every leader and coach. The following can help to increase the time in the zone. Optimize meetings and events. Teams should evaluate the efficiency of all work sessions. A team may discover, for example, that it remains more productive when the team members interact with each other informally throughout the day versus a cadence based event, right? For example, the daily stand up. Others find scheduling regular synchronizing meetings add cadence to the communication and minimize the interruptions. The team should periodically review all their meetings to understand the necessary ones and the required attentions. The second option is limit WIP further, right? Context switching is often a result to too much of WIP. Less active items to any given time mean fewer interruptions of work. Use innovative collaboration patterns. Being in the zone does not imply working in isolation from others. Practices like pair work and mob programming can increase in-depth immersion and focus. Improve work product health. Team needs to maintain a healthy code and asset base, otherwise it takes more work to evolve and maintain a system efficiently. Take flow accelerator, which is remediate legacy policies and practices. Why does it matter for team flow? It is appropriate for those leading a transformation to want to do leverage what's new. Far too often, however, leaders often wish to keep what's old. Some of these new and old practices are incompatible, right? Design evolves versus design upfront, right? And put the teams in a different predicament. Either pretend to conform to mutually conflicting policies and reduce transparency, or fight the system while development is in progress, slowing the progress and creating internal friction, right? In any case, they inhibit flow through the system and put the entire enterprise in half agile mode. So, what to watch out for? The first thing is for leaders and change agents to recognize the legacy policies and practices that are likely to persist even with top leadership support for the lean agile transformations, right? Some of the examples, right, traditional project and program management. For example, end value management, WBS, integrated master schedule, project cost accounting, right? On top of the agile team practices. Keeping management status reporting in place when system has moved to transparent and objective evidence. Having developers maintain their old timesheet and recording the work in their agile lifecycle management tool results in duplicate reporting. Requiring documenting design specification, mandating traceability of non-critical code, and other practices that are not required by regulation because we have always done that in that way. Forcing root cause analysis and documentation on every defect as opposed to finding, fixing, and forgetting, right? Separating developers and testers and BB teams for separation of quality concerns when not mandated. Subjecting teams to legacy phase gate reviews. Required managerial review of artifacts and tasking micromanagement. Compensation and performance policies that reward wrong kind of behavior. Collecting and using metrics across teams as performance measures, right? So what to do about it, right? Leaders, scrum masters, coaches, SPCs should constantly look for these and other impediments to flow. The LACE, right? Lean Agile Center of Excellence should deal with known issues as part of the transformation roadmap. Newly discovered legacy practices and policies that cause impediments or extra work should be taken care of immediately. So main job of leaders or a value stream manager or whoever the change agent is just identifying legacy policies and practices that are persisting, that are delaying your flow, that are causing problems in your flow. Try to remove those things, try to address that, it quite cleverly. So that's how we can move about, just you can remediate your legacy and policies and practices. This does not mean that, legacy policy is always, giving a hindrance to the process, right? You can keep legacy policies and practices which are adding value to the flow for sure, right? With that, we have come to the conclusion of this particular video. Hope you guys like this kind of videos that helps you in our agile journey. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share this video to other friends so that it reaches many people, so that it becomes a good knowledge sharing platform. So with that, I'm signing off. Take care. Bye bye.